There is no doubt that sports celebrities are some of the richest in the entire world. But even among sports celebrities, some people earn way more than others, and playing certain sports may even make you more likely to get rich. In this video, we'll talk about the top 10 highest earning athletes of all time, and we'll be starting with MJ Jordan, Michael Jordan himself. Now, many people consider him to be the greatest basketball player of all time, but he also happens to be the most valuable sports personality in the world, with a net worth of about $3.3 billion. But here's the thing: despite being that rich, only $94 million was earned from wages as a baller, with a huge part of the money from his activities outside the court. This includes the $2.4 billion he made from endorsements, the hundreds of millions he makes annually from sales of his Air Jordan shoes, and the $3 billion that he earned from selling his stakes in the NBA team, the Charlotte Hornets. And with how much this guy keeps making, it would be difficult for any sportsman to ever match his funds moving from one grid to another. Tiger Woods is the second highest earning athlete in history. At some point in his career, he was literally untouchable and unrivaled in terms of golf, and it also translated to massive earnings from PGA Tour and endorsements, with his Nike deal fetching him a whopping $500 million in total. And although he had that massive drop in his performances and earnings following his divorce many years ago, he still sits comfortably close to the top in terms of earnings, as he has racked up $2.5 billion over his career. And if you really want to earn big from sport, then you might want to consider playing golf, because another former golfer, Arnold Palmer, is the third highest earning athlete in the world. Over his brilliant career, he earned a total of $1.7 billion, and most of those earnings came from endorsements and personal businesses. Some even say that he was one of the first athletes who probably tapped into the potential of earning from endorsements, and boy, did he do it well. So it's no surprise that even after retirement, he had a net worth of over $800 million. And hope you're not tired of seeing former golfers, because yet another golfer is next up in the highest earning athlete list. And he is Jack Nicklaus. He's also the most decorated golf player of all time, by the way, winning the highest number of titles, and is also considered the greatest golfer of all time. So it's not really much of a shock that he's been able to earn $1.63 billion, with most of those earnings coming during his career. And now the one you've all been waiting for. Finally, we have a footballer on the list, and you can probably guess who. With a total earning of $1.58 billion, Cristiano Ronaldo comes in as the next best paid athlete in the world. And it's really not much of a shock, because Ronaldo is easily one of the biggest brands globally. And not just that, he also has a pretty strong influence on his huge fan base. This makes him one of the hottest cakes for brands and earns him some of the best deals. And if you're wondering whether Messi or any other footballer would make this list, then guess you'd have to stick around a little bit more to find out, because the next highest earning athlete is LeBron James. Or should I say the king? Of course, you already know that he earns a massive salary and gets loads of endorsements, but the king is also a pretty smart businessman with some really good investments in various sectors like food and sports. This puts his net worth at about $1 billion and his total earnings about $1.53 billion. And of course, this list would not be complete without the one who's considered the greatest athlete in history, Lionel Messi. Now, with his level of greatness, you'd probably expect him to be the highest earner in sports. But it doesn't quite work that way. Although he earns a lot for most of his career, he never really seemed that interested in building his brand, or at least not as much as Ronaldo. But that hasn't stopped him from amassing about $1.48 billion over the course of his career, and one could only imagine how much more he could have earned if he focused on his branding. And now, finally, some boxes. And you can already guess who the richest one is. Of course, it's Mr. Money Floyd Mayweather Jr. This guy has the biggest brand in boxing at the moment, and it's not just because of his boxing record of 50 wins and 0 defeats, but it's also because of his personality and business acumen. Outside the ring, he's made an estimated $1.41 billion on. Although he earns a ton of money from each fight, a significant part of that amount has come from his earnings outside the ring in terms of personal businesses and endorsements. Of course, this list wouldn't be complete without one of the GOATs of tennis, Roger Federer. He's probably one of the most marketable sportsmen in history, earning about $1 billion from endorsements alone, which makes up the majority of his $1.38 billion in total earnings. And yes, that makes him the highest-earning tennis player of all time, even higher than the likes of Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal, who won more prize money than he did. And we wrap up this list with Phil Mickelson. Yes, another golfer on the list. So guess it's safe to say that golf might be the real deal, or at least going by this list. Anyway, back to Phil. He's earned about $1.36 billion. And of course, most of that has been from endorsements and sponsorship. Do you agree that golf is the richest sport in the world? And which footballer do you think will be breaking into this list in the next few years? Let us know in the comments section. And while you're at it, kindly like the video and share it with your mates. To get more cool videos, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications for the channel. Can't wait to catch you next time.